All right, guys. First of all, great team win. Tough, hard-earned, a lot of ebbs and flows throughout the course of that game. Somebody taller than me was in here before this. I just thought there was so many good things that I could point out, and then there's going to be so many things that we can take a deep breath, digest this, and really improve on, because it's a great football team. Really was impressed with what Geno Smith was able to do coming in there, and being able to move the ball a little bit, sustain some drives. But hey, a lot of good things. We'll take the team win. I continue to be impressed with just the resolve, the resilience, and the cool, calm, collected competitor that Matthew Stafford is in crunch time.
All right, so Sean McVay, head coach of the 4-1 now, the 4-1 LA Rams, and the Highlighters, also known as the Seattle Seahawks. Not feeling it, Vinny. Not feeling the uniforms last night. Just not really.
Nah, I like them a little bit.
Yeah, so they are now 2-3 in a tough division. Mm-hmm. But even worse than that, I kind of buried the lead, Vinny Goodwill. Russell Wilson left the game. He has in the words of Pete Carroll, he has a badly sprained finger. He could not throw the football. He had to leave the game. He was doing pretty well. One interception he threw was tipped, so he was playing well. Threw a touchdown too. He left the game. Geno Smith comes in. He got him close, then he took him away. And so the Seattle Seahawks are at 2-3. And you want to say some nice things, I guess, about Matthew Stafford.
Who does? Who wants to say nice things about Matthew Stafford? Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to do that?
I just said y'all saw. Yeah, in your feed you said y'all saw Stafford, right? So I don't know if that was good or bad or what.
No, you got the full Matthew Stafford experience last night. You got the thing that Lions fans, which I am not one of, or Lions observers, have been watching for well over a decade, right? You see a couple of brilliant throws, like the throw to Deshaun Jackson that flipped the field and really got them going. Like, man, look at that arm and everything else, right? Then you saw the interception in the back of the end zone where he was trying to get a little too cute and threw it to his former teammate, Quandre Diggs, right? That's the Matthew Stafford experience. Everybody for the first handful of weeks has basically been looking at Matthew Stafford. Oh, what a widow. The Lions have done him so wrong all these years. It's their fault, not his. Look at where he's at now with Sean McVay and all these weapons and everything else, even as the person who's talking has Cooper Kupp on his fantasy team. Thanks, guys.
Okay, all right.
No. No, I ain't no fool. But I will also say that the full Matthew Stafford experience is a mixed bag. He is the least scrutinized number one pick from a quarterback standpoint that I've ever seen. Has not won a playoff game, has not lifted a franchise. He's now able to go to the Rams, and you're not expecting him to be Michael Jackson in the Jackson 5. You just want him to be Jermaine. You know what I mean? They don't even really have a Michael. Maybe they do, but it's not really Matthew Stafford. So we can slow down with the flowers and everything else because they're not asking him to do much. And when he tries to do too much, you see what he does, throws a pick in the back of the end zone. If Seattle was a better team, a better defensive unit, that game would have been a lot different, to be perfectly honest. That Seattle defense is trash.
Bad.
This ain't the Legion of Boom anymore. So let's not be holy, Michael Holley. Let's not be holy with Matthew Stafford in these numbers. Let's not do that.
Okay, well, look, I'm generally with you. You just pretty much made my Matthew Stafford argument. That's what I've been saying about Matthew Stafford the entire time. And you actually, not only were you fair, you were kind of nice to him. Because I kind of usually get down and dirty when talking about Matthew Stafford. But is it fair, though? Is it fair? You left what year did you leave the Detroit Lions?
I left July 27, 1999.
And that was the day when?
The day that Barry Sanders quit, I quit the Lions. And I have endured no misery as a football fan since then. And proud for it.
Okay. All right, on July 27, 1999, Matthew Stafford couldn't say Detroit, couldn't think Detroit. Detroit wasn't even on his mind. Lions, he ain't know the Lions history. Don't talk to him about Night Train Lane. Don't talk to him about nothing. Billy Sims, nothing. He doesn't know anything about Detroit. So are you really going to put his flaws on him? Some of them, he deserves some of them. But isn't it like an organizational failure more than a Matthew Stafford failure? Of course he couldn't lift the Lions. Who has? Tell me the person who has lifted the Lions, and I'll give you 30 seconds. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Barry Sanders lifted the Lions. That's
okay, a Hall of Fame. Okay.
You asked the question. Don't ask questions that you don't want to know the answer to. You've been in relationships before. Don't ask questions that you don't want to know the answer to, especially if I got answers.
Barry Sanders. So that's what it takes. It takes either Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson, maybe. Did Calvin Johnson do it? If Calvin Johnson did it, Matthew Stafford
was close
did it.
enough. No, Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson are not in the same caliber of their respective positions. Calvin Johnson is arguably top five receiver, most certainly the defining receiver of his time. Matthew Stafford is just a guy, all right? He's a guy with a hell of an arm, right? We fall in love with guys with great arms. Jeff George, right? Remember Jeff George? We fell in love with Jeff George because he had a great arm, and everything else fell by the wayside. Matthew Stafford, I believe, is a step above serviceable quarterback. Jared Goff was serviceable. Matthew Stafford is better. The decision-making has not come back to haunt him yet. It can, it might, as long as he realizes that, hey, you know what? I got Robert Woods, I got Cooper Kupp, I got Higbee, I got all these different weapons. All I got to do is not mess this up. I think they will actually be fine. But the second that Matthew Stafford starts to believe his press clippings, that's where it's going to be a problem. I don't blame, like in Detroit, there's this, either are you on Matthew Stafford's side or you on the Lions side. I'm team neither. I think they deserved each other. You know what I mean? Matthew Stafford wasn't a victim of the Lions. The Lions weren't a victim of Matthew Stafford. They were equally mediocre, which is why the relationship lasted as long as it did. And hopefully, both sides will be better for the divorce than they were for actually being together.
You know what, man? You know what really just tripped me out was when Calvin Johnson went back to be honored by the Lions. Good thing, Lions. Go ahead. You got a new general manager, Brad Holmes. Got a brother in the top spot. We got it. Okay, I like it. They bring him back to honor him. They go to the field, and the owner starts talking at a ceremony to honor Calvin Johnson, and she can't even finish her words because she is drowned out by these Lions fans. Like, Vinny, I am not a Lions fan, but if you say, tell me a team in the NFL that you just want to just give a Super Bowl to, like you want to just hand a Super Bowl to their fan base, I'm going to go Cleveland 1, just because, you know. I'm going to go Cleveland 1. I'm going to go Detroit 2. I mean,
why?
It's heartbreaking.
Why?
Because the fans have had to put up, the fans can't do anything about that Ford family. They can't move them out. What are you gonna do?
No. I'm not gonna let you ride on this. Michael Holley, do you have sisters?
Okay, let's go. Do
you have sisters?
Yes, I do. My big sister.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Michelle.
So do I. I have an older sister whose birthday was last week. If ever my sister was in a bad relationship, a toxic relationship, do I tell her to stick it out? Do I tell her, you know what? You stay consistent long enough, he'll turn around, he'll act right. Or do you tell her to leave his ass? I tell my sister to leave. Leave toxic relationships. The Lions are in a toxic relationship with the Ford family for years and decades. My dad is in a toxic relationship with the Lions, which is why I quit them. I'm not going to go through 60 years of having my Sundays taken away from me for a few measly Sundays. You know what that's like? That's almost like a deadbeat dad. The deadbeat dad that says, you know what, I'm going to show up, I'm going to take you to the park, we're going to go to Cedar Point this weekend, and every weekend you standing by the window, you standing by the door waiting on that car to show up that never come. How come he don't want me, man? The Lions don't want success. So why should the fans keep investing in it? No, I don't feel bad for them. They do it because it's a ritual. There's other places to invest your money. There are Michigan State.
Where?
This is
That ain't the same. It ain't the same.
What you mean it's not the same?
You want pro football. Michigan? You really want to, you walk right into that one. You really want to put your faith in Michigan? Especially when they play Ohio State? No. But the point is, I'm not here to bash Michigan. What I'm saying is.
That was ill-timed. Yep.
College football is nothing like pro football. Different ball game. It's different. So if you want that speed, you want that pace, you want to watch Sunday at 1. There's something magical Sunday at 1 on the East Coast, Sunday at noon, Central Time, whatever it is. That your football team playing in the National Football League.
Find another
What are you supposed
team
to do?
then.
Who gonna root for? The Bears? Packers?
I root for the Packers. I got no problem saying that I'm a Packers fan as
Browns?
long as Aaron Rodgers is there. No, why would you invest in another toxic relationship in a different zip code? That's even
Well,
worse.
that's right. Look, I would say this. Short of, and these things never work. I know a few years ago, you remember this? When the Baltimore Orioles, they just got so tired they had a fan boycott.
Yes.
And they just didn't, and nobody went to the Orioles game. And, you know, they only had, if people hadn't been boycotting, they would have had like 6,000 people in the stands anyway, 6,000 or 7,000. But in that case, they decided, we're just sick of it. They didn't go. It looked good. I remember it. But what did it change? They still suck. They lost like 100 and whatever games this year, again. They've been bad forever. And so I don't think the fans really have any power, Vinny. And it's
Yes,
not
they
their
do.
fault. It's an accident
they
of birth.
do.
You just happen to be born in Michigan.
No, I love being born in Michigan. I have no problem. I am a Detroiter through and through, okay? Like, I have no problem claiming my hometown. Like, you're Ohio. That's something to be ashamed of. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't walk around claiming Ohio, right? But I'm gonna bring you to like a seminal moment of me and my Lions observations, okay? There was a Sunday afternoon game. The Lions were, I think they were 6-2. And remember Big Sean Rogers, the defensive tackle,
Oh, yeah.
who had the
D-line,
light
yep.
feet and everything else. They were playing the Broncos, and he returned some fumble or some interception, like 93 yards, and everybody was like, the Lions are 7-2, they're back, or 6-2, or whatever it was, right? Michael Holley, riddle me this. How many games did the Lions win over the next season and a half after they went 6-2? Next season and a half. Next, what's that? 16 games, 22 games. Riddle me how many games they won over the next 22
Zero.
games. No, they won 1.
Zero.
They went 1-7 to
One.
finish that season, and they went 0-16 the next. Why? Because the Lions don't deserve prosperity. That's why. The Lions tried to take Barry Sanders back for his money. They took Calvin Johnson back for his money. When you see employers take employees for money because they say, you know what, I've had enough, that's why the fans shouldn't come back. That's why the fans booed the Ford family. That's why if I was there, I would have booed too. It would have been showtime at the Apollo like it was 1988, buddy. They deserved every one of them boos, and I will never encourage Lions fans to subject themselves to misery. How dare you?
Well, I will tell you this. If you're really about it, though, if everybody in Detroit's about it, this is what you do. You get somebody who really loves Detroit, okay? And there are a lot of people, and it is a great city. I love Detroit. I really do. I know people make fun of Detroit. I know you don't, but
I make fun of Detroit, but I love it. No, I'm realistic. I can make fun of it, but I'm still loving it.
You are allowed to. People, but there are people who have made fun of it and have never been there, don't know the history and some of the beautiful things that happen there. But I would say it's either somebody from Detroit, somebody from Michigan, or somebody from outside the community who loves it. Go in, buy them out. Support a buyout of the Ford family. Just overwhelm. Make them an offer that they can't refuse. And because you know what it's going to be now in this game, in this NFL game, before you tell me I'm crazy, I'm going to say this. This is like the ultimate, I know some millennials are out there. You know, millennials know what I'm talking about. This is the ultimate boomer story, okay? Some of these NFL owners, some of the old school NFL owners, they got in, they bought their franchise for a dime. I mean, really, like, you get a whole franchise, you bought the thing for like $500. And now it's worth $1 billion or $3 billion. And they're holding on to it. They ain't worried about the next generation. They're holding on to it. Look what I did. Look what I built. Yeah, you got lucky. And so you have a great asset. So it's worth a lot of money. But now you need somebody younger and hungrier and more savvy to come in and say, all right, I'm going to overpay just to save my city and save my state. I'm going to overpay. I'm going to offer you $3.5 billion. See you later, Fords. Get on out of here. because you had a lot of time and you did nothing when you were when you had the platform. You did nothing. What do you think? Is it possible?
So you telling me? So you're asking me as a sidebar to this that if the Lions are sold and bought by someone else, would I return? Would I entertain coming back to the Lions?
Yes. Would you? Ooh.
Nah, it's too hurtful. Too hurtful. Too hurtful. Some relationships you just can't come back to. Sometimes you can't. I won't root against them. I don't root against them now. I just don't root for them. If I want them to win, I want them to win for my dad, who's had to endure 60-plus years. But at the same time, me and my mom laugh at my dad every Sunday, and I don't want to lose that bond with her. Sorry.
I don't want to lose the bond laughing at dad.